Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain of human rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. Yes, it is I, your lovable host, Rod, coming to you live from my bunkerized home studio somewhere within the great Granite State of New Hampshire. Yes, indeed, we are live this Monday evening. Monday, January the 14th in the year of our Lord 2013. As we begin the week off, I know we're a little bit late this evening, but sorry about that. Couldn't be helped. But we still got a bunch to go over the next hour or so as you join me. I do appreciate you joining me. I don't care if you do it live or if you do it as a download or what have you. I know the big news is from the weekend in Jodie Foster. And I got to tell you, really, that's news? Is anybody surprised? Who didn't know Jodie Foster wasn't a lesbian? But I mean, I think I knew back it was, you know, some of the Disney movies that she did back in the 70s when she was a little girl. We knew back then. No, that was Tatum Channing, or Channing Tatum, or Tatum O'Neal, excuse me. Tatum O'Neal was in the Bad News Bears. But yeah, she did Disney movies and kind of knew back then that she was going to, you know, if you go back, well, maybe back then, because, you know, we're kids, we didn't really understand or know what a lesbian or a homosexual was. You know, back then we didn't, because we weren't exposed to it. We really didn't understand it. But yeah. If you go back and look at it, you could tell she was very, you know, butchy, if you want to use that term. But I'm not surprised. It's no news. And frankly, I think that she's, she's kept it a quote-unquote secret for so long. And obviously it wasn't a secret. But she made a point, though, in her speech that basically said, why the hell do we celebrities have to expose our private life? That's not the deal. You know, we've got a private life, too. And this was part of the problem in old Hollywood, I guess you could say. You know, this is how we get... Rock Hudson? You know, he did stuff like that. Or you know, he was gay. But, you know... I just... the poor woman... she's got it, you know, she has her own life, and she should be free to be able to do it, to live her life without everybody poking a camera in front of her. And I think she kind of alluded to that and mentioned that in her speech. I didn't watch the Golden Globe, so I did not see her speech. I read it this morning, and because I don't watch the Golden Globes. But there's another story about the Globes, by the way, the Golden Globe Awards, and that is the awards themselves, the actual trophy, as it were. The trophy was made and designed by a kid who dropped out of law school. He started a company, a trophy company. He's it's kind of funny because he started a trophy company with some of the money that he would have spent on college. I get from the article that mentions him, and along with some seed money from relatives, he started this trophy making company. And now he is, a multi-million-dollar trophy-making company, and he's got the Golden Globe. He makes a few awards, and the Golden Globes is one of them. That should be the story. How come we don't hear about stories like that? That should be the story. Not Jodie Foster coming out of the closet, but this young man starting a company that now employs a lot of people. Yeah, I know it's for superficial stuff like trophies and plaques and mementos and awards and stuff like that. But hey, somebody's got to make that stuff, right? Even for all you corporate types and all you liberal types, because you like to give yourselves awards. The Environmentalist Award and the Humanitarian Award, and that. He makes those awards. His company makes those awards. So there should be more about him. And less than because look, Jodie Foster just entertains us. Yeah, when she's directing or acting in a movie, she's indirectly employing people, but that's for a very short period of time. This is a guy still in his 20s that employs a lot of people, and he's been doing this for three or 4 years now, according to the article. But there you have it. So it's more important to come out of the closet than to recognize somebody who's actually contributing to society in a positive way. Knowing about Jodie Foster's sexual preferences, it does not help this country. This young man starting a company, albeit it's a company that makes, superficial types of stuff like awards, he starts a company that employs other people. That helps this country. Let me ask you something. Is your life any different today than it was on Saturday, knowing that yesterday Jodie Foster came out of the closet? No. But I guarantee you that if that young man who started that trophy company were to hire somebody on Friday, that person starts work on Monday, his life is totally changed and different now. Absolutely. But, we don't want to talk about that. Because that's not fodder, that's not interesting, it's too boring. It's boring, darling. And we got Obama out there. And has anybody seen the pictures today that were all over Yahoo and MSN from China? Yeah. Did anybody see those? I mean, on the worst day here in America, and I think it would probably be Los Angeles, never looked that bad. And yet we've got environmentalists who constantly blame the United States and us for consuming too much energy and consuming too much power. Yet we do it awfully. I mean, the air today is cleaner today, and we use a lot more power and energy than we did 40 years ago. And the air is cleaner today. How is that possible? Oh, because of technology. Yes, you can have all the government mandates you want, but if you don't have the technology that the private sector comes up with, then the government mandate is meaningless. Oh yeah, government. You got to come up with a car that gets 60 miles a gallon. Well, if they can't figure it out technologically speaking, government can have its mandate all he wants. There isn't going to be a car that does 60 miles a gallon. I'm just using that as an example because yes, I know that we can do that. But it doesn't. People don't really buy that kind of stuff unless they want it or unless government forces you to. I mean, look, government didn't force me to go out and buy LED light bulbs, but I did. And my electric consumption billing portion of my electric bill has never been lower. Even after I spent less than I consumed less than $20 worth of electricity in the month of December using Christmas lights and decorations at that. Why? Because it was all LED. But I chose to buy them. I liked the way they looked. I liked the bright color that it had, the crisp clearness, because you can get them in the cool white and the warm white, and I liked them both. I think on the tree, the cool white looked like little stars, little dots of light from the heavens, so I put those in the tree. The warm lights I put everywhere else, all LED. I've got LED lights now and all my accent lighting. I got one bulb, literally, one LED light bulb. When I bought it, it's how much it says is going to cost me per year to run? 47 cents a year. That's crazy. That's a good thing, but that's not government mandating it. That's the American ingenuity out there at work, and they made something that looks good, works good, doesn't cost a lot, and they made something that I wanted to willingly buy. Oh, go figure. They can make an accent light bulb that puts out, I think it's the equivalent of 25 or 40 watts of light. Great for an accent piece, accent lamp. It cost me less than 50 cents a year to run the damn thing. Yeah, it cost me $10 to buy the bulb. Ooh. And then it cost me less than $2. If you go to the laundromat, you can't even dry your clothes for 50 cents. I don't even think you can get a cup of coffee for 50 cents anymore. But I can add a little ambiance to my home for less than 50 cents a year. Do they have any of that stuff in China? So I don't want to hear you environmentalists talk about how bad and how much energy we consume over here in saving reducing our carbon footprint. Because let me tell you, our carbon footprint is tiny. Well, this is, I know some people are probably going to get mad at me, but this is the truth. The Americans have got the Asian feet here. Because Asian women tend to have, because they used to bind girls in Japan and in parts of China, they used to bind little girls' feet because the smaller the feet, the sexier it was. Because small feet was considered to be sexy back in the day in Japan and in parts of China. So they would bind the little girls' feet so it would restrict the growth of their feet. And Japanese women tended to have small feet. Now, frankly, there are a lot of Japanese men that have fairly small feet too. So, and Americans typically have pretty big feet actually, for a number of reasons. I suppose because we never bind our feet, but. China, in this particular case, since we're talking about carbon footprint, they've got the big feet. They've got the American feet, and we've got the Asian feet when it comes to that. Plain and simple. It probably loses some power there when I have to explain it. But, you got to do stuff like that, unfortunately, because you're going to get some stupid, idiotic liberal out there that's going to accuse me of being a racist if I don't explain it. Obama says I can take steps against guns without Congress. Oh, really, Mr. President? You are truly believing that you are the potentate. President Obama said